At the 50-yard line, Peyton pleads the fifth on his subject of retirement. On to Carolina. Stephen A. Smith, what do you expect that he's going to do in terms of his future?
In terms of his future, I think he's going to retire. I think this is Peyton Manning's last game. I don't think Peyton Manning will play another game in the National Football League because I really, really believe that he recognizes that his health cannot stand up in today's game. Yeah, they do everything they can to protect the quarterback, but he's had a lot of hits. He's incurred a lot of bodily damage, and I just believe that he recognizes that the end is near. I don't think that Peyton Manning utters the words might be my last rodeo lightly. I don't think that's something you just throw out as if to say you're thinking about it. You can always pick up the phone and call a Bill Belichick or somebody else later and thank them for who they are and what they've meant, what it's meant to you to compete against them. To say that at midfield on the football field, I think it's one of those situations where he knows it's over and that it should be over, because as great as Peyton Manning is, he understands the concept of team better than anybody. He believes in it. He lives by it. He epitomizes it in every way. He's a first-class individual and a first-class player. And you know how I feel about his family as well. They're wonderful, and that includes Eli, obviously. But it's one of those situations where I think that, you know, those words don't come out of his mouth lightly, Skip. I don't think that's something that he would have ever said unless his decision had been made. And to me, it's clear that John Elway wants wants next year and beyond to be the Brock Osweiler era, if not someone else other than Peyton. He kept his word. I think John Elway is a sensational executive. He's been a sensational executive in Denver. I think the city of Denver is lucky to have him, but I don't think anybody's luckier than Peyton Manning, because he has an executive in John Elway that has kept his word. He talked about building a Super Bowl contender around Peyton Manning, giving him an opportunity to get to the Super Bowl, and he's done it twice with the personnel that he's put around him. And so Peyton Manning recognizes this, and I don't think he wants to go someplace else and start anew. The only way he would stay is if he stayed in Denver. And I think Denver used the few last weeks during the regular season to emphatically state the obvious. They're ready to move on beyond Peyton Manning after this season. I think next Sunday, February 7th, is the last game of Peyton Manning's professional career.
And I disagree. I will agree with half of what you just said. I believe that next Sunday, a week from Sunday, will be the final game of Peyton Manning's Denver career. But this is just my 2 cents from a distance. I don't have any inside info on this. I believe that the only way this will be Peyton's last rodeo is if it's 17-13 going to the fourth quarter and Peyton throws the winning touchdown pass and they pull off what will be seen as a big upset of Cam and company. That's the only way that he will do what Miss Connecticut here would like to see, which is
see what
Peyton.
You started.
Well, you want to see him ride off into the sunset on the white horse, the Denver
and I'm the
Bronco.
only one who believes it'll happen.
Right? Okay. Well, you might be one of few. I mean, sure, a lot of people would like to see that. I think not many people think they're going to get to witness that, and I don't either. Which brings me to my conclusion here, or my opinion. I think Peyton's going to play again elsewhere for a couple of 3 more years. And here's why. Just as we talked about yesterday with Cam, Russell Wilson, we're seeing a breakthrough quarterback in the NFL, one who can throw from the pocket and run called plays for touchdowns. I think we're also seeing a new breed on the other end, too. And it's led by 2 quarterbacks, 2 old men quarterbacks, Tom Brady, Peyton Manning. They're looking at 40 as the new 30. Have you heard Tom talk about retirement at 38? Nope. He's saying, I'm going to play, what's he been saying, like 5 or 7 more years? I don't know. And I'm not going to bet against Tom Brady playing till he's 45. I'm also not going to bet against Peyton Manning playing till he's 43. Because I believe, if I'm reading the tea leaves correctly through this season, that John Elway was trying to ease Peyton out the door. And I believe Peyton did not love that, because clearly, because Brock Osweiler is John's new guy. It's the future, and clearly he showed that he can be the future. John Elway, to me, was poised to go forward with Brock Osweiler into the playoffs. Remember, Gary Kubiak made a gutsy, game-changing, season-changing decision in that second half of that final regular season game at home that they were trailing to San Diego. He said, I'm going with my relief pitcher, the Hall of Famer, you right? I'm going to put Peyton Manning in the game. And I was shocked by it. And I'm going to guess. I'm going to guess that John Elway was at least surprised by it. And we know the rest of the story. Peyton played great the rest of the way. Peyton played very well in these 2 playoff games. And if I can swing around here and make any case for this being a game, a competitive contest in the Super Bowl, I'm going to lean on my man Ron Jaworski, what he said on Mike and Mike this morning. He said he's put in the tape of those 2 games, Pittsburgh, New England, obviously both in Denver, and that he said, I'm paraphrasing slightly, but Ron's takeaway from watching the film was, Peyton looks the same. Like he says, I see no difference in this Peyton as in his prime Peyton. And I've been telling you that also. Against Pittsburgh, he threw for 222 with whatever drops it was.
7.
It was
whatever
really
it was.
I counted 6. They said 6 and 7.
I
They
counted
vacillated back
7
from
because I always jot them down, and I had 7. Well, he easily could have thrown for 300 yards against Pittsburgh. The
That's
key
fair.
stat, obviously, in both games is the big 0, the goose egg he put up because he threw no interceptions and no interceptions, no fumbles, no turnovers. If Peyton Manning can refrain from turning the football over against Carolina, then maybe you can make a case that they'll hang in this game. Because, listen, Carolina is rocket-fueled by turnovers. So in this case, then he plays against New England. That first half, that was some vintage Peyton Manning. I got to tell you, the 2 touchdowns to Owen Daniels, the fade right, the route.
He was throwing a lot.
He was throwing the football. And again, everybody says, oh, he's lost his velocity. What velocity? I never saw velocity to start with. It was all timing. It was anticipation. It's getting rid of the ball before the receiver comes out of his breaks. It's knowing, it's seeing things before the defense even knows what they're going to do. That's Peyton Manning, and he's still playing at that level. So what more does he have to do? It's always funny to me. People say, oh, you need to retire. And he's probably thinking, and do what? Do I want to go work for ESPN yet? Maybe not. What if he thinks he's got 3 good years of football left? Would you blame him? Would you hold it against him if he said, I want to be a free agent. I'll go somewhere where I think I have another chance to win. Now, that's if they lose. If they lose.
Well, let me go a little Caliendo on you, Frank
Right.
as in the great Frank Caliendo, when I'm talking about George and saying, I do not believe that is true with Peyton Manning. I do not believe that he looks the same. I love my man
Wait, is
George.
that Stephen B. Smith or Stephen A. Smith?
That's Stephen B. That's
Okay,
Stephen B. That's
B.
Stephen B.
Yeah.
You watch. I love it. I love it. I love Stephen B. Smith.
he's
Love
pretty fun.
Caliendo. But let me say this to you. I love me some George. I mean, I get an education from him in the game of football every time I talk to him. That's one of the highlights of me working on Sunday mornings, being around the guys and especially him. Love him. But I don't agree with him here, and I know George is watching. No, George, I don't believe you on this one. No, Peyton Manning does not look the same. He has not looked the same. And Skip, I am a person, I want to make sure that I'm very, very clear with what I'm about to say. I totally believe Peyton Manning when he says he never tried to get a competitive edge, the HGH story was bogus, and all of this other stuff. But I'm telling you right now, if Peyton Manning is playing 3 years from now, I'm going to have to revisit that opinion. Because I'm telling you right now, I'm going to think about some HGH. If the Peyton Manning
now
that I
they
watched
test
this year...
for it. You get that. Then they didn't, now they test.
If the Peyton Manning
Okay.
that I watched
All
this
right.
year is playing 3 years from now?
Yeah.
Oh, no. He need to be tested. No way in hell. I don't believe it for 1 second. Not for 1 second. He might come back after this year, play somewhere else next year. I don't think so. I still hold to the opinion this is going to be it for him. It'll be over. But it's always possible that he could change his position a little bit, go and play another year. I personally, unless he's content, like if he can't go, he's willing to be a backup, willing to teach, willing to be a face of a franchise, propel them into a new era, playing the role of the elder statesman and just trying to help guys out. But I'm talking about Peyton Manning, the elite starting quarterback
Yes.
that we've known him to be for the better part of the last 17, 18 years. If that Peyton Manning is playing 3 years from now, I need him checked because I don't believe it. No way on earth. This is it. He might play next year, but I'm betting my money that this game, Super Bowl 50, is his last.
All right.
And oh, by the way, stop raving about what he did against Pittsburgh. We know their secondary stunk. We all know that. Steelers could.
thought
They
they
were
came a
30th
long
against
way by the
31st
end of the
against the
year.
pass. They were horrible against the pass. They've been horrible against the pass all year long. As far as I'm concerned, Tomlin and those boys shouldn't draft anything but cornerbacks and safeties. You need to improve the secondary for crying out loud. An additional pass rusher would help too. But you need to just load up on the defense. I don't care what Peyton Manning did against that defense. The Steelers defense is weak.
Man, you're sure
Wow.
fired
You're
up on no
fire.
sleep.
What
is
going on?
this?
You have coffee, Starbucks
Yeah.
this morning?
I think
in
you-
LA?
well,
I thought you were tired. You were all over.
I have it. I just haven't drank it yet because I've been talking.
I think maybe you need to be tested today. Is that possible?
Never that. Never
All
that.
right, Stephen
Never
A. thinks
that.
he's done. Skip says he's only done if he wins the Super Bowl, but he is done in Denver and could play elsewhere. Moving on, coming up, Browns great Jim Brown.